Pre-game, we're here with Kieran Charnock before the final, representing Los Otros, a pickup team kind of from Toronto. Tell us about the team and how the weekend's gone.
Yeah, so it's gone all right. We had a few injuries to start the weekend. I went down in the first game, second point, playing. It was a pickup team. We grabbed some players from Canada, some Russian players, some French players, kind of all different experiences playing with different clubs. All the guys here have 7+ years experience, some more experience than my age. So there's lots of experience here, so we haven't really suffered from that, but it should be a good game.
Awesome. It must be nice for a young fella like you to get on a team like this and play with veterans from all over the world. You guys now face a Clapham team who's a proper, tidy team, one of the best in Europe for years and years, versus a superstar stack team. How do you guys match up? What do you expect to see?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good game. They obviously have lots of experience playing with each other, and us, we just threw together a team. I think it's going to be a very good game. I think we'll have a shot at winning this.
Okay, well, best of luck and thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Cheers, good luck.
Third place
And here we are. We have James Mead from Clapham Ultimate ahead of the final. James, how has the weekend gone? Enjoyed your time in Madrid, and how's the team gone?
Great. It's been a very fun weekend. We penciled this in at the start of the year, looking for like a fun end of season. And it's been exactly that. Madrid's been wonderful. Tournament's been really well ran. In terms of the tournament, some really nice games. We've played a lot of different teams, especially yesterday, which was really nice. Something we don't get that often. So yeah, really good weekend so far.
Excellent to hear. And the final now. You got both of these teams have kind of cruised through the tournament, but a big game against Los Otros. What do you expect, and what do you expect to give them?
I think it's going to be a fun game. We watched some of a few of their games yesterday, but not a few familiar faces, so you know what we're going to expect. Some nice, talented throwers. Hopefully our numbers will help us out a little bit, so I think they're a little bit low, so we'll try and capitalise on that, but should be a very entertaining game, I think.
Well, that's what we're hoping for, and we wish you the best of luck. Thanks for your time before the game.
Thanks very much.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Doubters, to those who don't believe, this is the hour. You'll see that we'll make ladders out of obstacles and stepping stones from roadblocks. Leap over the lines to say we won't cross, but your canyons like they're nothing. They won't see us coming. Scale all of the walls they built to hold us. We may be invisible, but we'll be unmistakable. We may be invisible. They may be blind to me, just wait and see. All the haters, those filled with jealousy, the naysayers, payers for defeat. But we'll make ladders out of obstacles and stepping stones from roadblocks. Leap over the lines.
And our game is underway here. Clapham versus Los Otros. That one turned right away. Los Otros with a chance to break early in this game, and they have done it with a toe drag catch there. Los Otros open up in style against Clapham with a one-throw break for score. Welcome to the Madrid Ultimate International Cup, an Ulti-TV broadcast. I'm Stefan Rapazzo, joined with Christina Obermeyer as we get 1 point in here. Christina, tell us about this game we've got in front of us.
We've got two teams that, as of so far, have been undefeated. Clapham on the one side, cruising through a pool play and also the tournament tree, and then on the other side, Los Otros, whose semi-final we saw last night, pretty handily beating Is No Good to get to this final point here, and I think both of those teams are going to put up a real fight. Los Otros is a mix of international players, mostly from Canada and European spread. As of Clapham, they're ruling, reigning European champions and ready to also be champions of the Madrid Ultimate Cup. But let's see what Los Otros can put up against that.
All right, and wow, Ashley Yo has to make a huge play to keep that one alive. Briggs to Yo. Justin Ford, and what looked like the same jitters we saw on the first point was bailed out by a huge layout to keep this second point going. And Ford's gone deep. Yo is there. Ojo on the D, bids, but not enough. And Clapham do strike back and hold on their second effort.
They had to work so hard to get that off, and especially the first pass was already under a lot of pressure. Then just a beautiful huck to open up the field, and great bid, but just comes off short. That's a hold for Clapham, but probably the hardest they had to fight yet.
So, as we talked about at the top, a team of superstar pickups, a stack team. I love a good old-fashioned stack team versus a club team with years and years of culture, preparation, the championship medal, pedigree. They've done it time and time again, but this is a whole new level of competition on European soil, especially at this time of the season, early season, you know, kind of end of the season or start of the season, where it depends how you want to place it.
So for Clapham, as I've heard, it's rather end of the season kind of thing, have fun, go to the party and enjoy the time playing. As of Los Otros, they're just enjoying themselves.
Wow, it's a
getting back
pickup
in.
team, so that it's for sure, let's have fun and win as much as we can. Winning is pretty fun, that's the thing.
Can definitely agree on that.
So Nasser Mbe Vogel, the journeyman, as mentioned in the semifinal, been around the block, played all over the world. He's going to jog it up to the spot. He was efficient yesterday with his forehand deeps. Let's see if he showcases more of that. Ochterlony comes under and gets some space. Fakes and then gets Vasilyev underneath. Far sideline. Back to Vasilyev. The offense a little slower to get going, but now to Carroll. Looked for the up line. Edwards was available, but didn't take it. Now back to Vasilyev, and they've got some flow. Edwards in the corner. There's a poach the other way. Carroll, but Vasilyev off balance because of a foul, I believe.
Definitely contact there on the mark. As we see Rowledge trying to stop a break coming off of Vasilyev's hand. They're going to have a quick discussion about that.
And he's saying, you threw it into my knee, but you moved. And this is...
For like clarification of the rules, as soon as the defensive player moves at all, just a tiny bit, it's basically their foul.
And now around to Carroll. Options, takes the dump. Back to Carroll again, bit on his hip. Didn't get there, they're now back the other way. A toe drag into the middle. Filipowski cashes in the goal, and Los Otros take a 2-1 lead with a break and a hold.
Great patience there from Los Otros, playing in the red zone. Easily just running hard. And I think we're up for a very, very good game. High and competitive.
Would believe nothing but that with these two teams the way they've gone. They have been cruising through the competition, crushing everyone in their paths.
And whereas Clapham is still basically a full squad, Los Otros have gone from 20 players to 13 actives.
Old boys falling apart over there. Got to duct tape them all together.
We'll see if that might influence their performance in later stages of the game, but for now.
So Mead to Ollie Gordon. A lot of contact there. Marin tries to go through Wilson. Says that he fouled with his Ultimate Warrior style cheek eye black, whole cheek eye black. Alexi Long has shaved since yesterday, and Briggs gets a pass broken up by a diving Jeff Powell bid. Marin picks up and goes to Zlatan. Dump pass, Teller goes around. Slatic to Powell. Two-man game out of Zlatic and Powell. And then to Anslan, there's a pick called, so that Teller catch does not count as a goal.
Some of the players stopped in this discussing. I think they're calling contact on that up the line cut from Ford, putting himself into the way of Slatic. But the other players arguing that they were not affected. So the disc will stay with Anslan. See that again. Slatic bumping into.
Here we are in play, Gael Anslan. And Briggs goes down, and there was contact on it. But Marin retains possession. He's wide open. The Briggs mark about 4, 5, 6 meters away.
Discussion again, where players should stay, where the disc should stay, what the call was. Aslan is asking for the disc back, and the situation will be repeated.
And the disc is back in. Anslan goes up and over, two of them there. Zlatic gets to clap the hands on it, and Los Otros cash in another, and that's another break.
Nearly D'ing his own player there, going up the line, but safely in the hands of Slatic for the Los Otros goal. Quite an intense game for sure. Nothing else would have been expected from those two teams.
Nothing at all.
I think both of them are enjoying the intensity. Seeing the sideline doing the wave.
So yes, there's some questions about Los Otros. We'll answer them again. French-based, because Nasser is the coordinator of this team, and he is French. But a whole bunch of, the biggest core of this team is Toronto Goat and Rush players. You get some Swedes, you got some Russians, and a couple more Frenchmen round it all out there, and that's how the pickup composition goes. Clapham and Mead get things going underneath to Wilson. Wilson breaks to Briggs. Briggs still not afraid of wearing that pink hoodie. Ford comes under. Back to Briggs. Big up and over to Wilson. And Ollie Gordon gets a touch underneath. That's a great matchup. Gordon and Leanderson, we'll keep an eye on that, as is Ford versus Powell. And he goes, was that through the legs or just around? If that was through the legs, very cheeky by Justin Ford. Wilson now. To Ford, he checks his space first and toes it in for the goal. Of course, Ford and Powell had played together before. Ford did a season with the Toronto Rush, so they know each other very well.
Interesting for sure, and great recognition there from Justin Ford to jump that one in, not giving them a chance of another pass. beautiful spacing from Clapham. They kind of took a point or two to find in the game, find themselves, but now they're just perfect the way we know them, their offense.
Rolling along well.
Worthy of a European champion.
What's that?
Worthy of a European champion.
Indeed.
So Clapham now running behind a break or two. Gotta get that back.
Connor McHale. His pulls were questioned in the last game. He's nailed one for us now. Nasser, Mbe Vogel.
Keep working well.
Edwards and Los Otros. Carroll. Now they're moving. Edwards, they get the gainer almost into the attacking half, and they go all the way to the attacking half. Nasser, Mbe Vogel burns. Hori gets all sorts of space, and Los Otros back on the board, 4-2.
Beautiful spacing there from Los Otros, just waiting for a single player to get into a position to huck it, and then just exhilarating at the point of reception of the disc, not too early, not too late, just, and then perfectly putting that disc into the end zone for the receiver.
And I'm pretty sure this is a pickup team just made for this tournament, giving themselves a Spanish name to come to Madrid, Los Otros. They organized well in advance. They had some connection between Andy Octorloni and the tournament organizers. And so between Andy and Nasser, they put this team together specifically for this tournament.
Well, if they're doing well, why not go to some more fun tournaments in Europe? There's plenty.
Yeah, I would say mostly because of schedule. They've all got other teams with other commitments that will not allow much more of this kind of collaboration.
You're probably right. A tournament in November, mid-November, is not a typical thing to have. It's off-season for most of the teams, except for the Spanish ones that have their nationals in December.
Here comes Clapham. Wilson comes under, now Ford. Ford goes up line to Gordon. Gordon gets Ford on a great switch. Goes to Hori, has the space, has the throw, and Clapham strike back. 3-4, keep it within one, still down a break.
Los Angeles contained Clapham really well in the beginning. Completely shot off their first look. Their first pass was a gain of about maybe 10 meters. So very, very good defense at the beginning. But then later they found the holes and they put it right through. And with a very quick game, they kind of ran away from Los Otros there for the Hori score. But also very contained to the sideline. So they're working it with their feet, not so much with their throws.
Doing it with their legs, making separation by outrunning. I think that's one advantage for Clapham here. Despite whatever both of these teams were up to in last evening's events, they should have the legs on these guys across the board.
Especially because they have more players on the field, in their teams at least.
They not on the field, it's
on
still
the
only
field
7-on-7.
Would be
Vasiliev and Mbe Vogel. Octorloni runs deep and calls for it, but it doesn't come. Nasser and Mbe Vogel well covered by Eels. Hammer's gone deep to Carroll. It's gonna work. Oh, it doesn't, but what a bid by Carroll trying to come hand down on that upside down disc.
What a beautiful bid, but this is Clapham's chance to get that break back.
Rowledge. McHale, a key contributor to their transitions, to their counter-attacking break points. Disc continued on. Rag just gets it out, stall 8 to McHale, and there's a pick called. Tapped in. McHale to Rag. Continuation was there, but Rag misses it completely and throws right into the defense. Mbe Vogel goes deep, and Carroll's there, out in front, has a step, perfect throw by Nasser Mbe Vogel, and Carroll trots it into the end zone.
We've seen him do that yesterday, and you've also called it. His flick hucks really opened up a lot of space, as they did here again with a beautiful huck that in the last second, or in the last part of it, curved back into the end zone for Carroll to beautifully run underneath it. It doesn't have to do a lot, just jumps in there, and nothing a Clapham defender could have done against that.
Beautiful throw.
So Clapham had a chance and gave it away again. Bit of a miscommunication there, we see that again. Releasing it a little too late.
(5-3) the count. Long stops the roll and puts to Briggs. He scoops over top to Ford. Clapham often running in hopes of holding. Yo can't hold on to the low disc, and Los Otros collect. Zlatic does well to hang on to that one that's a little bit overhead. Then dump to Ancelin. Fakes the rip, goes around and under. Has Rudometkin, and then in for goal right away to Remy Ojo, and Los Otros doubling up right now, 6-3, looking good.
And on first arrow from Clapham there to give Los Otros a red zone opportunity, and you don't want to give that disc into their hands that easily and that early.
Not with you don't ever want to give it to them, especially not on a short field, especially not early in a possession when they've got all sorts of legs. Clapham have taken the time out here. They're going to talk about what's not working, and there's a few subjects to touch on there.
Definitely is. I think they just have to calm down a bit, because they seem very rushed to get that disc off. But other than that, just maybe enjoy the game a bit more, because they've been pushing each other very hard, but in my opinion, forgot to have fun as well, because they're here to do exactly that. And for Los Otros, it's pretty much going great. They're hitting all the throws, but don't think anyone would have expected anything else.
And for clarification, we did speak to both captains and the tournament organizing committee. This game will run as normal. A time cap will be reached at 90 minutes, and it will be +1 no matter what the score differential is, which I am very happy to report. I'm also very interested. There is a digital clock on the far sideline that we're following as our timer next to the scoreboard there. And it is counting in a certain direction. And that direction of counting has been debated and disputed many times over. And here in Madrid, it is counting down. So we started at 90 minutes, and we are looking for 0 to blow the whistle for the hard cap. Just thought I should mention that. Briggs collects the bouncing pull and gets it returned. Gordon. Ooh, a wobbler, but Wilson handles it. Then he chucks deep, has Briggs. What's he doing in the end zone? Isn't he supposed to be throwing those? Showing some versatility, opening up the field the other way. Briggs and Clapham get on the board after the timeout.
Well, if Briggs wants to run, Wilson can throw, apparently. Switching up roles a bit. So
yeah, and of course he's not that one-dimensional. It's just because he has these strong throws, people may sometimes assume that he has no business being downfield. but
Proved-
not at all the case.
He proved everyone wrong, whoever said that. Clapham,
Probably only me who's saying it right now anyways. However, yes, proved them all wrong.
Clapham did a very good job at positioning themselves and opening up the space in the middle for this huck to come off. You see that beautiful sky there from Wilson, and then they were keeping themselves to the sidelines, and that's why Briggs had so much space to run deep and this huck to come off through the middle of the field. If they had their stack in the middle there, it would have just probably been smacked down by someone, but very good spacing, cleaning it up a little bit, working out of a split stack. Something the Canadian national team has been doing for quite some time, actually. So beating them with something they know very well. Los Otros.
Los Otros. Mb Vogel looks off the huck right away. Then Filipowski gets engaged. O'Donnell. Mb Vogel. They really want to take away his hucks. Effective thus far at the point. Carroll gets it coming under. O'Donnell gets the call from Edwards and says, come on back to me. O'Donnell to Carroll. Carroll goes deep to Mb Vogel. Can he get there? No, too far in front from Carroll. And Clapham with a chance to break.
Beautiful continuation there, but just a little too much spice in that. So it's also third day of a tournament. Legs are getting heavier, and Clapham desperately need that break now.
Modiano and his Velcro mustache, walking it up to the line. Winds up, he's put it. Mikhail is there. He's gonna get there, and wow, Clapham break in one throw. Modiano and the Velcro mustache making it happen with full field hucks. Clapham within one.
Beautiful one there for Mikhail. Blown coverage a bit, really from the Los Otros side, finding Conor Mikhail in such open space. Easy clap catch, not contested at all.
Look at this, step to the line, and he knew it was coming right before he ever put his pivot foot down, and what a beautiful put.
That puts people into a lot of stress normally. So it's a great mental game on his side to, you're gonna have to throw a huck now. Stepping onto the field, stepping out, immediately ripping it to this perfection.
Giving the mark no chance to come across. He knew where the mark was, knew where he's gonna put that left foot, pivot way to the other side into a nearly undefendable position to get off a backhand. So within a break here, 5-6, 1 point game. Clapham capitalizing on a break point there. Thank you all for joining us, watching Alti.tv. It has been a pleasure to bring you all this action from Madrid. If you've been enjoying it, if you're enjoying it now, hit those buttons, like, share, subscribe, and of course, hit the links to go to our Patreon and become a member. You can support for whatever amount you choose. We make it easy for you, and you get. We want to give you a voice and be part of the community. So make sure you do take all those steps, click all those links, and support. So it must have been a timeout there. Otherwise, it was very long in between points. But Clapham just stayed on the line.
Yeah, Clapham probably didn't want to lose their flow because they have scored a point and broke once. And this is actually, in my opinion, a very good idea from Los Otros to try and stop their flow with the timeout, take a little more time and get dialed in again.
Here we go. Mb Vogel goes under to Carroll and gets bumped hard by Rowledge. No call. Mb Vogel Filipowski. Vasiliev and Rowledge, or sorry, what that's Yo. A little bit of a wrestling match there. Now we've gone deep. Edwards and Martin. Edwards reads it and rips it. What a play by Jonathan Edwards to take that one away over top of a well-defended Felix Martin.
Yeah, beautiful huck there. The way he jumped up and put his body in a position so that his defender had no chance of ever getting into this very elite ultimate that we saw there.
Athleticism at its finest. Edwards uses the long, lean frame, reads it well, and puts some hops on display. Here's another look.
Vogel with the put, and you can see the defender trying to get position, but his body is in the way, and no chance that he could get in front there.
So we got some people watching from BC, Canada, like great to see, British Columbia. How you doing there, eh? Hosehead? Hosers? The Canadians? Maybe that's still too old of Canadian culture to reference. Strange Brew, Bob and Doug McKenzie. And a floaty pull that hangs forever but doesn't get the distance. Defense is set as Mead picks up, fakes the under, and then goes to long, and his freshly shaven face. Remy Oho takes flight and goes all over Ash Yo. What a play there, and Los Otros are fired up and flying. Oslen with the disc.
Layout bit on the shoulder. Beautiful stuff.
Into Zlatic, and he touches down but not into the end zone, and Leanderson flips the cape upside down and puts it to turf and gives Clapham a chance.
Unfortunate drop there.
Wilson in his end zone gets Mead. Mead to Horry, and there's a pick called. Wow, I can't believe they didn't score. There was so much momentum from that flying D, and Horry back into play. Ollie Gordon. Josh Briggs. He's gone deep. There's the forehand. Wilson out in front, and Zlatic can't catch up. And what a turn of events there. It's 6-7 now. Clapham comes within one, but that point seemed like it was all Los Otros.
It did. That was an amazing layout block there on the shoulder of his defensive matchup here. And then unfortunate, you can see that replay here again, unfortunate drop just on the end zone line gives that point to Clapham. They got very lucky there.
Very, very lucky. So we've got some more Canadians from Toronto, probably Leafs fans, hopefully Raptors fans. Le Santrac from Paris, bienvenue, ça va? And there's a few more of you out there. Where are y'all watching from? We're watching from the best seats in the house. Midfield line, Madrid. And the pull is sensational. Mbe Vogel in his own end zone. And a player down. Not sure what happened there, but Hillman grabbed the ankle immediately, it seemed, when he went to ground.
He just
tripped on the tape, perhaps.
Tripped all on his own, made one step, and
carted off of the field by his teammates. Thompson in to replace. Vasiliev. Back to Mbe Vogel. Filipowski toes the line. Mb Vogel goes across Vasiliev. Nice fake to get some space. O'Donnell. Mb Vogel. Carroll. And Los Otros goes sideline to sideline here. Haven't found much as far as upfield options go.
Yeah, Clapham do that very well in this point. Limit their continuations downfield, but also putting pressure on the handlers.
And the deep comes. Ochterlony there, but the throw not. And Clapham, a chance to level the score here.
Slipped out of the hands. And two Clapham defenders were in the area, so it would have been a very tough catch even if the throw had been perfect. Sandwiching there.
Rag. Rolich. Rolich goes under into traffic and gives an easy opportunity for Edwards to smack away the D.
Collision there. Clapham player hugging a teammate on the sideline. Went into the tent with full speed.
Oh, and that one bounced all over the place. Thompson appeared to be alone deep, but Mb Vogel caught up, and now he's way alone deep. Sweet hammer by Connor McHale exposes the separation, and it's all tied up at 7. What does that mean?
Galaxy point.
Of course, Galaxy Point, a prelude to a potential universe. All tied up. Clapham have come back, one break at a time here in late parts of the second half. And we've got a barn burner now, all tied up.
Definitely have it. Connor McHale with a beautiful FT hammer into space for Thompson. Getting that back, an unfortunate drop there from Vogel.
So we've got Mensa, Ottawa, England, Toronto, Barcelona. Watching Naz from his current homestead of Geneva. Ruda Metkin from St. Petersburg, Russia, supporting him. Great to see our viewers coming from all corners of the globe.
Taking quite a lot of time there, the Otros. Planning out their strategy, how to close out that half. Connor McHale with a huge pull. It's gonna arch in.
Oh, he's lucky that pull landed in bounds. I would have been all over him, but he's safe so far in this final, pulling absolute beauties. O'Donnell and Los Otros wanting to close this half out on their accord. O'Donnell on Slen. Ochterlony called for it, but couldn't get the available throw. McHale puts his head on O'Donnell, and O'Donnell pushes him back away.
There's going to be a call about that. Connor McHale calling a foul, maybe, on that?
Well, Connor called the foul on the push-off, but Connor also initiated contact. It was gentle contact, kind of leaning his head onto him, but contact nonetheless. On Slen. Goes around Ruda Metkin. And defense was coming, but all sorts of time for Filipowski. Injury called. Edwards has lower body injury there. Something got twisted up on the turf. And he's going to take a break.
And Vogel on the field now.
And 96 for Clapham.
Webster. Also,
said, I will call an injury too, so he got twisted up in the ordeal just the same.
tried to jump in on that defense and then twisted his angle while trying to stop.
Filipowski, bid by McHale. O'Donnell with the disc. Rudimetkin gets open and comes under, not back to O'Donnell, but instead led to Ancelin, knocked away, a foul, no contest. Up and over, Andy Carroll gets the disc to O'Donnell. Filipowski now. Comes under to Ochterlony, and he turfs one. Off angle, hands there, and couldn't hold on. Rowledge. Flexing his leg muscles on every pivot, goes to McHale. He goes hammer again, far side again, gets Webster with a sneaky little pluck, scoops it for a goal, and that's Martin rather with the goal on the beauty hammer from McHale, and they take Galaxy point.
So a Galaxy point break for Clapham, and that was 2 breaks in a row, 2 lefty hammers from Conor McHale. Definitely on fire this game.
Conor McHale shouts out to him. Did a great job in the commentary booth, doing an even better job out on the pitch, especially right now in this final, bringing his team back from a small deficit in the early quarters to a small lead, taking a Galaxy point. We'll let these teams have a quick break. We're going to do the same. We will be right back with you. Don't you go anywhere. Thanks for joining us from all over the world.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, Ultimate TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
our
work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
And we're back. Half-time's taken. On serve. We're back on serve as well. It's 8-7. Clapham took half after being down early. Los Otros need to stay level now and hold. Great first half action. The final point, specifically that hammer, beautiful hammer by Connor McHale, and even better pickup by Martin.
Just kneeling down there to get that catch and get a break to close out the half, and Mbe Vogel receiving the pull now.
To Marin. Ochterlony comes under. He goes deep straight away. Filipowski's there. Eels on the chase. Filipowski can't go up. There's going to be a call.
Eels jumping from behind, jumping early, but into his offensive matchup.
Here is another look. So, Filipowski there. Eels
in pursuit.
Eels makes contact early and quite direct.
I'm guessing he thought that was the only way he could get there. Jumping early, that is. Disc will be checked back in. He'll walk the disc to.
So Los Otros gonna start on the goal line here. Filipowski gets Carroll in a little bit of space, and that's all they needed. Goal counts, pair of snowmen on the board. It's 8 apiece.
Bit of a great foot race there from the Los Otros side to get that disc into the end zone. You can see as soon as the disc is checked back in, just caught disc watching or player watching, I guess. And just a step in front is all they needed for that point. So you said before that Los Otros was gonna just play it out, but I don't think they're just gonna play out their offensive point. They're gonna wanna get breaks and win by a bigger margin.
Well, of course, now that they're behind on the dictation, if we only hold serve now, they lose. Great pull, Mead to Briggs, gets Ford underneath. Ford winds up and gives it. Mead is there in front, and the defense just good enough to disrupt by Rudometkin. He holds his knee after the play.
Mead had a couple of steps, and the look was good as well, but Rudometkin able to catch up and jump early and put a lot of pressure on Mead, and the disc slightly going to the left side of the pitch, and Mead under pressure, kind of a misread.
Onslen. Powell. Zlatic. He looks for the break, but Ford had the foot out. He held on and reset to Onslen. Zlatic. Now to Onslen. Slow and low, they're working. Teller with the disc.
Also just grinding it out here. Not a lot of yards gained. Moving the disc from one side of the field to the other.
Teller with the disc. Zlatic working hard for any upfield action. Now they go cross field with a blade to Powell. Briggs puts the pressure on, and they've got it back. He picks it up straight away. Bump on the mark by Powell. Briggs goes across, centering to Ford. Now to Mead. He's got to change his pace to catch up, but does it without problem. Dump back to Ford. All the way around Mead. Center of the pitch. Briggs with all sorts of contact from Powell. He goes down grimacing.
Both of them laying out for the disc.
There's the other look. We could see that one again.
It's going to be a bit of a discussion.
Here's another look. I don't know two ways about it. That's a classic case of Canadian backpacking there.
This will go back to Mead. It's a contested foul called on the pitch.
Mead goes around, gets Wilson, but there's a pick violation, I believe.
There's an abundance of players in the middle of the field. Doesn't surprise me much that this resulted in a pick. It was a foul call, actually, an uncontested foul.
Mead again. Another initiation violation. Gets Ford on the dump reset. Ford all the way around to Wilson. Wanted Briggs early, but the throw wasn't there. Faking everything, then goes around to Ford. Ford with a diving Zlatic gets a bit of room, then gives the scoop over to Briggs. Briggs to Ford. Ford to Wilson. They've moved back nearly to midfield, but they've done it quite comfortably. They're being pressured, good defense, but they are finding the open options comfortably with ease. Not ease, but it seems like they're comfortable. No pressure in this decision making right now. Wilson. And Ford has to catch up. The foul called just before. Powell getting up from the turf. Probably another case of clacking heels.
And as you said, they were getting the options with ease. Los Otros stepped up their defense a little bit, and Wilson not having many options, or any option at all for that matter, to get rid of that disc. Ford had to do quite a lot to keep his hands around that piece of plastic.
Oh, and Mead can't get the second touch. Rudametkin credited with the D from Mother Russia, as Vasiliev reminds us.
Great composure there for me to try the second effort, keeping his eyes on the disc all the time.
Ancelin, the Frenchman, goes to Rudametkin, who robs it from his teammate Powell. Then back to Ancelin, and quickly in the middle to Teller. Teller in front to Powell. Powell got to Oho, and he uncharacteristically drops it. He did take a little bit of flight, but maybe didn't need to. Caught it closer to his chest than his laid out body indicated was necessary. Now we've gone deep the other way. It's Yo versus Ancelin. A lot of contact, and Yo takes everything. Ancelin succumbs to it. He knew there was contact, but none that was foul-based.
Ancelin doing a bit of a dance around him to get the best position possible, but in that motion, just losing sight of the disc maybe for a second, but giving Yo a perfect position to get there early and jump up high and get that disc. Nice fast break from Briggs, recognizing that player was open enough for him to put it deep with his signature flick blade.
And a question about Canadian backpacking. Well, backpacking itself is a case when a foul comes through somebody's back and they jump on and you are wearing a player like a backpack. These players from Canada, so they're Canadian backpacking, and there was one game a long time ago that featured a fair bit of Canadian backpacking. But we're not going to get right into that one. Connor McHale set to pull here.
Enough intensity in that game. Should be only talking about that one. Connor McHale with a huge pull. He's been on a roll with those pulls.
Nas Mbe Vogel goes down to his knees to be sure, and then still drops it while on his knees. Drop pull in a championship game. Clapham is loving that one. McHale hoping to assist, and he flips one up top to Rowledge, and Clapham take a 2-point lead now, up 10-8, and the beneficiaries of a gift by Mbe Vogel.
Very unfortunate drop there by Mbe Vogel. See his frustration there, but it's just a bit of a shift in momentum, nothing over yet. See that beautiful lefty over the top flip from Connor McHale, finding Rowledge in the end zone with a second break in a row. I think we see the same line out on the field for Los Otros, trying to redeem themselves, or Mbe Vogel rather.
Well, they didn't get tired from that last point.
I bet.
They've still got the energy.
See that again. So safe, going down to his knees. So we've talked about this a bit. Catching your pull. You're a big fan of catching even the worst, ladiest pulls.
But not the worst, but everything short of laying out to make sure the pull's caught. Like, if you cannot get there, okay, but otherwise, catch the pull. Initiate the offense earlier. Give the defense less chance to set up. And that pull into the soccer goals. Everybody's excited about that one. Or should I say football goals here in Europe.
Definitely should. Although players all over the world will understand you if you say soccer.
Carroll. Vasiliev. From his own end, high stall count now. Flips out to Carroll. Vasiliev gets it after some stagnancy in the last 2 or 3 touches. Now Vasiliev gets Filipowski underneath. He's got some room. Marin fakes the big. Now the break. Gets the toe in from Vasiliev. Vasiliev fakes the back break, doesn't take it. Now breaks with a forehand inside Dr. Loney, and Los Otros back on the board. Down by 1, 9-10.
Could see a bit of a sense of urgency on the Los Otros side to get that disc down the field, and Clapham putting an extra defender into the back of the stack, the Los Otros side, to prevent deep options by poaching off, and that opened up the middle for one or the other quick break into it. And that's how Los Otros got it up there from on the far side. See Vasiliev stepping around, not opting for the around break, but breaking the inside for a beautiful goal. You had to work really hard though, but not really pressuring those deep shots, but taking whatever Clapham's defense gave them.
Pull goes up. Long settles under. Well, actually doesn't quite. Sun gets in his way. Didn't have it quite sighted. And it lands in, slides out. Briggs comes under and gets things underway in his pink summer hoodie. Yo. To Ford. Looking to engage, goes deep. Mead is there, well read, and that one counts. Clapham go back up It's an emergency point here, 9-11, 2-point lead, Clapham.
They only worked it up that sideline in like a 10-meter passage, but they were happy with that, and that was what they were given by the defense. Two very low throws scooped up by Clapham players. We've also seen that not work out yet. Looks like they've got their composure back and are running towards the end of this game, Clapham.
It's not over yet, but yes, they've got their sights for sure. 2 ahead into double digits. Our clock counting down that is more official says that we've got 32 minutes and 50 seconds remaining until the hard cap whistle blows. Some potential for us to reach 15 before that clock gets there with that much time remaining. O'Donnell settles underneath, catches the pole safely. Marin. Carroll comes under, but Marin goes deep to Ogderlony. Wilson is there, but Ogderlony all alone out in front. And the Canadians strike back, the pickup team, Los Otros, strike back 10-11, down 1.
Could see 3 Clapham players in the area trying to catch up with that huck, but no chance whatsoever. This was always meant to be in the hands of Los Otros, in the zone, in the end zone. Beautiful, beautiful huck.
Andy O, as he is known for years, one of the top players in Toronto for years upon years, the talisman of the GOAT program, a recurring member on Canadian national teams in the open division, and here in Madrid with Los Otros, catching goals with more than 25 years of ultimate playing experience.
More years of ultimate experience than I have been
Life
experiencing
experience.
life, yes.
Here they come. A break would tie it up. They would love to get that break.
I would love to see them get that break, so to make it even more tight, that game.
And bounce in, slide out, so front corner for long.
Not a great position to start their offense.
All the way around to Wilson. He's there before Marin can catch up. Now Briggs. Briggs to Wilson. Oh, Wilson bobbles and drops. And Los Otros with a glorious opportunity for a break here. With one throw, they do it. A flipper upside down. Marin is stroked, fist clench. Let's go, he says. And the Canadian-based Los Otros tied up, 11 apiece, a whole bunch of 4 sticks on the board.
And forced arrow there from the Clapham side, giving that favor of the dropped disc back to the Otros, making it even, fair. Beautiful. Is that a lefty scuba?
It
into
was
the end zone?
a scuba. He's
He
left-handed.
is a lefty, yes, okay.
Same
So
with Connor McHale's lefty hammer is a hammer.
Well,
But
I do think that it's important to actually say that it's a lefty because you can hit very different positions.
But do you mention a righty hammer when somebody throws it right-handed?
No, but there are far less left-handed people in the frisbee scene than there are right-handed, and having the skill of a lefty in your arsenal, either if it's a normal dominant hand or not, just think that is worth mentioning.
Sure. Here we are. Mead. Righty forehand. Goes crossfield. Just playing with you. Here we go. Briggs now sets up. Gives the backhand Wilson there. Oho on the mark. Ford comes under. Back to Mead. Wilson. Wilson winds up. Ahead to Mead. Rudimetkin not happy with a little bit of blown coverage as he slipped and tried to regather. Great defense in the backfield, but Horry gets space upfield. Ford was available, but the throw wasn't, and on the second effort, he becomes available. A trip up there, Oho caught the heel of Wilson and took him to the ground. He calls the foul, I think justifiably so, and we'll wait and see how this discussion pans out.
Bit of incidental contact, but definitely influenced the outcome of that play. This far out in front, but probably could have gotten there. It's very interesting that Clapham keep working it down that sideline there for the second or third point in a row. Just are pressured to stay on one side of the field, not able to swing it all the way over to the other side, or opting to. Don't want to question their game plan if it is that.
Back to Ford. Faked the same throw. Goes all the way across to Mead, and he goes far sideline to Gordon. Gordon dump space for Wilson. Up and over for Mead, and the poach by Vasiliev made him second guess, made him look away, made him drop.
Good pressure there on defense. Los Ochos have a chance to break.
Mbe Vogel wanted the big, but the defense shut it off. Now Anslen goes up line. He crosses the field effectively to Zlatan. Now Mbe Vogel winds up the forehand, gives the backhand. Gaël Anslen on the doorstep, calls the timeout.
Just in front of the end zone. He had some players. They could have just made a cut for him. Could have popped it in.
I guess they really want this one. He took some importance, called the timeout, puts pressure on it. Let's see what happens. Let's see what they come back with. We know the turnover, the timeout, or sorry, the time over or the turnout. But
could be either, could also be a goal.
It could be a goal.
I think their mentality is high up, their spirits are great.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. Ultimate.tv.
So in-game timeout. Let's have a look at these highlights we've had from the game so far while we're waiting to come back. Anslen called the timeout. I'm more of a supporter of letting that momentum carry, play on that point. This hasn't been a marathon point yet, but it's his call to make, not mine. Only one timeout per half at this tournament, so that is their only timeout of this second half.
Anslen, I believe, still in the running to be one of the French representatives.
He is very much in the final 12, yes.
So he might know what he's doing.
Oh, yes. He's well obliged to make that call, of course. He definitely knows what he's doing out there. A well-read student of the game as well. Dump back to Rudimetkin around Mbe Vogel. Mbe Vogel flips over top. Toli Vasiliev catches it, but not in for goal. They need one more, but there is a violation of sorts. Players are stopped.
Bit of a discussion on the field here, not so sure what it's about.
Horry and Vasiliev clean things up. Vasiliev on the goal line, disc in hand. Squeezes it through all of the traffic, finds Zlatic. And Los Otros are up again by 2.
Sometimes standing in the right position and waiting for the disc to find your hands is a good option, better option. Everyone else running and creating space for Vasiliev to just zip it into the end zone, into the safe hands of Slatic.
So, a game of runs here, a couple lead changes. Los Otros have taken back the momentum. Clapham knows what to do, generally speaking. They've been here before many, many times. They have mounted these comebacks before. Can they do it today?
I'm sure they're going to try.
I will never question the effort. Let's see if they can make it all happen. Manifestation of said effort.
Their O-line back out on the field.
Rudimetkin set to pull. Big outside in, but maybe too much outside on it. No, it is coming in.
Directly into the sun.
Not much distance on it, but a whole lot of hang time. Briggs picks up, fakes the backhand. Mead comes up line, he goes around to Horry. Horry to Wilson. Wilson to Horry. Horry to Briggs. Briggs to Yo. Does well to hang on to that with Ojo on his hip. Ford now. Fakes the backhand, now engages the center. Goes to Mead. Mead all the way around. Horry's there, gets there without trouble. Ollie Gordon made a great cut to get free, but the throw couldn't get around. Ford moving every which way to get open, and does. Now back to Briggs. Near sideline. Resetting again. Clapham patient. Wilson, after bumping into Marin, gets free on the open side and back to Ford. Mead to Ford, and that one is good. Clapham strike back. It's all tied up at 12.
They did not, this time, not put so much pressure on the handler set. Even in the red zone, the handlers were able to swing it around quite easy, and that in the end broke Los Otros back for this point. Just the stack for Clapham recognized that and stay completely still. Not making a lot of movement, letting that handler set work it in, and we see Justin Ford taking control there and jumping in to the end zone for the point.
Great work, of course, to have our cameras and broadcast here. Alti TV presentation. Make sure you click those buttons, like, share, subscribe, and become a member. Let's get more events, more Ultimate from us to you. Do the right thing. Otros O-line out there taking instruction from Vasiliev, Russian-born player who has won gold medals in World Championships with Canada and represented Canada many times, played with Goat and Rush.
As well as Russia, represented them at EUC 2019.
Multinational representation, Mbe Vogel.
Talking about multinational. That guy pretty much played everywhere, hasn't he?
Sure, certainly has. Gets it back on Slen, Mbe Vogel, Carroll. Blown coverage or not, is Rag gonna get there? Is Andy O too far in front? Andy Octorloni makes the play in front of Rag. Huge grab for the Sky and the goal to stay up by 1.
Jumping that high out of a full sprint. Definitely showing up off his athleticism there. Rag managed to close up the different distance, but that shot just perfectly weighted into the end zone. Rag trying to jump with him, but just maybe a head smaller.
Yeah, a little bit shorter. Andio had the step and a perfect throw by Andrew Carroll, and not much you can do about that.
Clapham's D-line does very well at preventing the first look, maybe the second one as well, but then they're just setting up in a position that is perfect to huck it. And while their defense behind the players for the deep continuations has been rather good through the mid part of the game, it has decreased a bit, their awareness of it. That's why those shots are getting off again.
Horry gets the big hang time pull. Gordon now on the far sideline. Gordon central through Briggs to Horry. Pick on the play.
Pick is called.
Horry gets Long coming under. Big throw by Long, has Yo, has space. Rudimetkin coming, but not likely to get there. But unless the disc is misread by Yo, and Rudimetkin does get there to break up any potential for a second effort.
The disc had a lot of hang time in it. I thought it was going to be perfect, but just a bit too much. Yo misreading it, jumping a bit too early, giving the opportunity for the Otros to jump in there and now get a break.
Great play on the defense. Misread on the attack, tried to get it before the defense got there and then didn't get it at all. Vasiliev to Anslin. Teller and Slatic all alone on the near sideline. Vasiliev barks for it in a poached space, and Anslin retains the disc across to Powell. Powell forward to Teller. Los Otros moving sideline to sideline in their own end. Zlatic as Briggs gets there late. Vasiliev rips it. Lee Anderson versus Gordon. A couple of towers there. Lee Anderson was there first. He misreads it that time, and Ollie Gordon gets the trailing defense.
He did misread it a bit, but also that disc was very close to the sideline. And there, I don't think that the disc would have ever curved back into the field. So great defense from Ollie Gordon to put on the pressure, but also not very likely for Lee Anderson to actually have.
Yeah, the sideline coming as the second defender there. He would have had to make a spectacular grab to make that one count because of it. It's a great matchup to watch out there, of course. Lee Anderson, Gordon. Like I said, a pair of towers out there, a bit of timber. They might give us some great sky battles. For now, Wilson takes a look at Powell coming down before he comfortably catches it. Ford wound up for the big, then comes around for Long. Long to Gordon. Gordon to Wilson. Now they're moving. Yo gives back to Wilson. Likes Ashley Yo in the middle. There's a travel called by Powell. He says he's moonwalking a little bit.
Bomber, I got you. I got you, Bomber. Bomber, all inside. All inside. All inside.
Wilson to Briggs. Totally bids, but can't get the D. Scoop over top. Beautiful scoop by Briggs to Horry. Cash in the point. Tied up again, 13 apiece.
Bit late there, the bid from Anatoly Vasiliev, but Briggs not stifled with it, takes the foul, the contact going down, but also making a meter by getting up again and then just putting the scuba over the top. See that again, jumping over Vasiliev, but immediately setting his pivot and putting that scuba into space for Horry. to collect a goal. Tied up at 13. Los Otros still up a point.
Dino, don't understand man speak eng. That's English that I'm supposed to understand, or is it you don't understand what? Be more specific. I'd be happy to help you out. Connor McHale, set to pull. He's had a great pulling game thus far. Good timing for another one. And he has given us another nice pull. Bounced and caught, one pass and still in the end zone. That's what you want to see. Marin has had a couple ripping hucks in this game. Mbe Vogel gets Ochterlony coming under. Andrew Carroll. Filipowski. Mbe Vogel. Ochterlony. Wants the deep. He asked for it a couple times over, but there's a pile of people there, and that one will go to bounds anyways. Crowd gets the first piece of it. And Clapham with a chance to take a lead with this break, and a lead going into the 14th point of the game.
Definitely would be beneficial for them. Routage, the only one actually jumping up high, trying to get that disc, making sure it will not hit the hand of one of the Los Otros players.
All the way around. Martin, some contact in the middle. McHale gets the disc, winds up, he's ripped it. Has Modiano and Rollage. Rollage goes up with two hands and takes it. And there is a conversation here.
Radic stepping in the last second, stepping in front of all of the other players to get that disc with two hands. There's a bit of a
Here's
discussion.
The replay. McHale. Big floaty disc. I'm not sure. There was tiny bits of contact, but more between Modiano and Marin. Looks like it's retracted, and I think that's the right play.
As I said before, Will Rowley is doing a good job at stepping in front of the abundance of players there to get that disc.
Rollage on the doorstep for a break. There's a call there again, maybe a push-off foul.
An offensive marking foul. Saying he pushed him away before stepping around.
One way or the other, not going to change much.
But it could reset the stall count, and I'm guessing that he's this one is rather high already.
Timeout called by Clapham after the discussion. They'll come back into action 1 meter away, ready to score and take what would be a massive break at this stage of the game. The turn came on the hands of an Ochterlony huck that was late in the stall count, didn't ever really have the right option. Probably should have been holstered, but he sent it, and now we see Clapham.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, Ultimate TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and fund our work
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Bit of wind picking up. It's a side wind coming from our cameras towards the far side of the field. And this might have also impacted that throw you talked about before from Octoloni.
Yeah, possibly. Though, as you said, that it's dragging away from the cameras. I mean, I think there are a few things affected that throw. It was unbalanced and late. But yeah, once it was up, it was high and floaty, so a bit of the wind could have dragged it a little bit further.
Bralic with the disc in his hand. Isolation set up.
Isolation on Modiano. Rolich goes around. Big dump to Mikhail. Then gets Modiano. He doesn't get Modiano. And Los Otros often running the other way. Mbe Vogel through Carroll. Has another look. Steadies. Up line. Mikhail is coming, but Marin maintains composure and collects. Now up line to Carroll in the scoring end. Filipowski was there. Continuation. Disrupted. Marin runs in, and the hammer over top. Thompson almost with a play on it. Vasiliev in for goal, not quite. Filipowski on the goal line now. Dumps back to Vasiliev. Los Otros can smell it here, but still not in. Octoloni, Vasiliev, now across. Carroll's there. Los Otros cash it in and steal that hold back away from Clapham, who took the timeout on the goal line.
We've seen the exact same situation in the first half already. Clapham just in front of their end zone, taking a timeout, trying to do the right thing, be patient and calm, and that not connecting, then a shot not connecting. And Los Otros showing them how it's done in front of the end zone. Being patient, taking up as many passes as they have to put it in for a goal. And this is a must score point, excuse me, for Clapham to make it 14-14.
Let's see a hold. Of course, we all want to see it. No matter who you're cheering for, you're secretly hoping for a Clapham goal here to set up a universe point.
I wouldn't mind that. Definitely not.
Not at all. I would be very excited for it.
And it would be a fitting end to that game.
Pull from Rudimetkin. Horry to Briggs. Briggs gets forward, two-hand catch. He winds up and puts it. Yo is in the area, all alone, not quite in. Dumps back to Wilson. Wilson forward to Yo, and they collect. It's 14 apiece, ladies and gentlemen. Universe point coming up next. It all comes down to this.
As I said before this point, very fitting end to a very intense open final. Clapham and Los Otros. What is your call, Steph?
Hold for the pickup or break for the establishment. I'm going to sit on the fence a little bit longer on this one. I'm not too sure. Christina, what is your call?
So Los Otros are putting a very distinct line of players onto that field for the last point. I'll go with that. I'll go with Los Otros.
Los Otros to hold.
Just because they are on offense.
Without any turns.
Without maybe a turn. Let's spice it up a bit.
2-turn point if you say Los Otros.
Yes, 2-turn point.
I'll say they either hold clean or get broken clean. There's not going to be more than one turnover in the point is my best prediction I can give you. I'm not going to be too precise here.
You have a reputation on being very precise on those calls of yours?
It happens. But I also have a reputation of missing on a lot of them. Connor McHale to pull Universe Point Madrid Ultimate International Cup. The first of hopefully many. Los Otros, Clapham, all comes down to this. McHale, outside in, Lefty backhand. And that pull under question, Anselin picked it up, but could have picked it up off of the turf. Ochterlony.
I just had
Marin, and the second pass the same, could have been on the turf. Unbelievable that we're still playing here and nobody questioned that, but now there's a stoppage. Maybe we get a better look.
And by Vogel and Eels talking it out. It's a foul called.
We're back. Anselin trying to engage Marin. Goes up and gets him on the line, and Justin Ford making big plays and big moments, and then puts it to Thompson. There is a call of sorts. Rowledge catches what would be a championship goal, but there is still a player down from the point of the Justin Ford layout. So the call was made a foul call, I believe. Marin holding his lower back.
Looks very shaken up.
Here's the play. Anselin sends it, and Ford makes an incredible play. So not sure if it's a foul call or just injury, and we were supposed to stop.
An injury for sure, as he's still holding his back, but not a foul, just an injury call. But that did not look comfortable. This will stay in the possession of Clapham.
Oh, and there is the pull, so the discs don't lie indeed. I saw that one. Having the second look at it, most certainly looks like it touched the turf and was picked up. Ford making huge plays at the right moment, but the score so far doesn't count. They'll have to do that part again. Rowledge winds up, holsters, Ford again. Ford gets McHale. McHale gets Rowledge coming underneath. Attacking end now. They've gone big the other way. Martin wasn't ready for a minute. Now he is. He's not. It goes away, but there's a foul on the throw. It will go back to Rowledge.
Rowledge did slip on that release and landed on his back. There's going to be a quick talk about it. That disc out of position for sure, out of the other side of the end zone.
Here's the Rowledge throw. And yeah, his hand was contacted at just after the release point by Andrew Carroll.
It will be an uncontested foul. Disc will go back to William Rowledge.
Rowledge wants Ford, gets Ford on the up line. 2 meters out now. Ford goes hammer. Martin's there. Clapham have done it. Come from behind. The lead changes and all. Universe point goes the way of the break. And Clapham Ultimate knock off the hot star-studded Los Otros pickup team in a classic Madrid Ultimate International Cup final.
That was an amazing game from end to finish. Barely could keep myself in the seat in the end. And that hammer from Ford, just a fitting end to it. Was a very curious, intense final.
Justin Ford, a star in his own right, and he's a star for these reasons. The hammer was nice. He threw the assist, the final goal, but really to get that disc back, that's the big play that's necessary. That's the play that he is used to making, and because he does it so frequently, he's able to do it in the big moments like we saw just there. Well, it's been a wonderful 3 days in Madrid. Both divisions, great play in the open right here. Wonderful finish to this game. Thank you all for joining us. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for tuning in, sharing, liking, and subscribing, becoming members, doing all the good things. Christina, how has your weekend been? Have you had a good time?
I definitely have. It's been a lot of great Ultimate and seeing many friends and meeting new people and just what Ultimate is all about. Game.
All the good stuff of Ultimate happened here in November in Madrid. Make sure you put this one on your calendars when it's back, I think in 2 years. Be ready for that one. In the meantime, thank you very much for tuning in. I've been Stefan Rapazzo, joined with Christina Obermeier. Thanks for being with us, and we'll catch you at the next one.
Alti.tv